Hey guys, Phil Baumhart here, and for today's video I'm going to be making a squirrel cooker in the tradition of Dave Canterbury. This is actually going out to my buddy Grizz Niner. He's the one who gave me the idea for this video, so this one's for you, buddy. So the squirrel cooker consists of two pieces of rebar. I started by taking the first piece and flattening out one end and twisting it into a pig's tail. To do this, I wedged that second piece of rebar into the anvil and used the hammer to wrap that hot end around it. I gave it a little twist there at the end so that it would bind when you set it up. While that cooled, I heated the second piece and flattened it to make the fork. To split it, I first used a chisel to mark it, and then I used a railroad spike that I cut in half as a anvil tool called a cutoff hardy to split the rebar completely. You can see here that the steel is getting pretty hot, and when it throws sparks like that, it means the steel is starting to burn off and melt. Later I accidentally melted off half of a tine and had to redo most of my split. I actually found it was easier to split the rebar when it was not hammered too flat. Once the rebar is split in half, I straightened it out and spread out the tines before hammering them into points and then bending them to the final shape. As the fork cooled, I took that first piece of rebar with the pig's tail and forged the other end into a point. And after the forks had cooled, I took that piece of rebar again and forged the other end into a hook so that you can hang a pot or something off of it. So the idea behind the squirrel cooker is that it is a packable item that can be broken down to take with you camping or backpacking, and it's also an efficient way of cooking game over your own campfire. And then just to finish it up, I sharpened up the tines with a file. And I did happen to have a big fox squirrel in my freezer, so I was able to test the cooker out. And just a side note, the squirrel was harvested legally and humanely, and I did adhere to all of my local game laws. Then one last point I wanted to make, I wanted to point out the close quarter combat merits of the squirrel cooker, perhaps, or something like the zombie apocalypse, because the tines are of sufficient breadth and strength. They could be used to drive through the eyes into the brain of a zombie and dispatch them that way. And the stake could also be used as a pairing tool, you know, in conjunction with the tines, something like that. So wherever you go, you can cook squirrels and sufficiently fight off the zombie hordes. Until next time, thanks for watching, and be more Viking.